Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Martha. So happy to be here. Welcome to this channel of mine. Happy Friday to you. It's a really nice and sunshiny day out right now, and I hope that you are well. I feel like I have a lot I want to say real quick, and I'm happy about that. I am learning when I have like the best energy and wanting to take advantage of that, knowing and like record and share when my energy is high. I wrote down some thoughts after a post that I read and responded to on this envelope. And sometimes I feel like my best thoughts are like written on like receipts and napkins and not in my notebook where I plan on writing things. It's always in some other random places, which is cool. You know, when the thought comes, you're like, okay, let me hurry up and write it down before I forget. That type of situation. So I feel excited to say words out loud to you, with you, in your presence and company. And I first want to just acknowledge the day. I feel like I already did that, but officially acknowledge the day and the space and the sounds and the birds chirping, and just say that I'm appreciative of this new season that we're in, that I'm in. I have high hopes for the things that I'm considering and intending to and planning on, and I just want to like feel like I can keep up that energy, you know. I spent a lot of time in my past walking on eggshells and hiding parts of myself and trying to subdue my personality so as to fit some mold or some expectation that I thought would grant me favor or validation or approval or belonging or a seat at the table or whatever the case. And I am done doing that. I am moving on from that type of thinking, that type of behaving, that type of relating to people. And I'm so glad that I have this channel. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad and thankful to 2022 me for taking a step and continuing on, and 2023 me for making it a habit and being consistent and leaning into creativity. And I still find this form of communicating and sharing to be very beneficial to my mental health and my all the stuff that I want to do, all the thoughts in my brain that I'm trying to execute on. And I don't want to minimize. I don't want to shortchange. I don't want to all the other things that say what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. So, so yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good for me to be me. I'm trying to get better at writing out my descriptions and coming up with creative titles to my videos that will interest people. I'm trying to move away from the whole, like, I don't know, just like creating for myself, which is good, right? That's where I always like start, right? But a big thing for me, like if I'm being really honest, like is wanting to reach someone else, right? And so I'm being challenged in that area because I really be like, I don't want to, like, if you like, I don't need it to make sense, which I don't, right? But when I'm in conversation, I want to be understood, right? When I'm trying to relate to someone, I want them to understand where I'm coming from. And so I have to make that effort to communicate in a way where I make sense to someone else to some degree. Like, of course you can only really do so much, right? But let me at least make the effort. So that's what I'm trying to do. Little things here and there, like I said, like the description, the title, I don't know what else, adding captions, if that's helpful. So little by little I'll be doing that. But I think it's good to just, for me, to like keep the flow organic, so that I feel excited to like want to talk, you know what I mean? I do always have like my notes and stuff. I have always done that, so that's good. But okay, so what I wanted to say is, based off of a post that I saw on my timeline on Threads, that I thought was really good, and it really resonated with me because I've said something to that degree or fashion before, just as far as like giving people, I'm gonna paraphrase here, but as far as like when we're in conversation, when there's discourse happening, showing up to the conversation or joining the conversation with a level of respect and acting in good faith. I think that's so important. Like, having healthy communication is something that's really close to me, like something that's really important to me. And in order for me to feel like I can have a productive conversation, like a conversation that's going to go somewhere, that's going to like help heal or help make sense, like help people feel closer or feel more like they understand, or feel like there is some commonality, things like that. I feel like I want to be someone who advocates and promotes that type of language, that type of exchange. And so I was happy to see this post come through, and I responded to it. And I had to think about what I was trying to say or how I was trying to respond for a moment, right? Because sometimes, you know, that's a little challenging for me. I'm like, what am I trying to say, right? But I gathered my words, and now I feel like now I feel all energized about it. So I want to like keep talking about that, which is the point. That was the point of the post and the conversation, is to continue that on, right? So like there are times where like people are arguing, debating, disagreeing, just to be arguing and debating and disagreeing, just to cause chaos and confusion and misunderstanding, and just to be rude and disrespectful, and to be explicit words, you know what I mean? Like explicitive, yeah, you know, bad words. And so and so I recognize when, for the most part, not always, but I recognize when those type of conversations are happening, or comments are being made, or whatever the case. And I try to stay away from that, because I ain't trying to go there with somebody I don't know online or in person. I don't like to be like I don't like to come out of my character because somebody's trying to be a troll or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just because people are miserable and unhappy, like I'm not trying to like input or deposit any of my energy into that type of stuff. But if people are coming at a conversation, a topic, some, you know, very challenging, difficult conversation, with a level of respect, with a level of curiosity, like true curiosity, and like wanting to know or wanting to get a different perspective or something like that, that's good ground. You know what I mean? That's good ground. Like, that's good soil right there. And so I like to see those type of exchanges happening. I may not necessarily like have anything to add to the conversation or feel like I want to say something, but I do take notice, and I do like that type of discourse and that type of like back and forth, you know. And so I do tend to like pay more attention to that and engage more with that. And it's all really a choice. It's all a choice what you want to be involved in, you know. And so that that post and the things that I'm saying right now, like, it just reminds me, like, the type of communicator that I want to be. I'm not always like that. Like, in real life, you know, in real situations, I may ignore a thing. I may pretend like it didn't bother me. I may communicate passive aggressively or people please, or, you know, hold on to it, bottle it up, and then 6 months later I'm cussing you out over some spilled milk from 6 months ago, you know, that I could have like squashed right then and there, type of thing, you know. So those are things that I'm working on, like bringing up the difficult, tough thing right then and there, and saying something about it right then and there, and speaking my piece, and feeling like I can do that, and not backing down from that, and not feeling bad for afterwards. However it comes out, however the other person takes it, it is what it is. That type of thing, that type of attitude, that type of energy, you know. And I was at one point very reluctant to be that way. Very, very reluctant to respond or not respond that way, you know? And I'm learning from that. I'm learning from that. I spent a lot of time there in the dark, fearing what other people was going to say to me about whatever. And I'm moving on from that, like I said. So I'm excited. I'm excited for a new level of growth in my communication, in my practicing, right? I think it's good to write stuff out. I think it's good to meditate on what I've written. It's good to say things out loud and hold the space and create the space, and then let that be that, right? And not needed to be perfect, not needed to be polished, not needed to be cleaned up, not need anybody to agree or disagree with me. You know what I mean? It just is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of stuff that that's the type of energy that I'm trying to bring. You know what I mean? And you don't gotta like it. You don't gotta be here. You know what I mean? Because I'm all for the benefit of the doubt. I'm all for extending the olive branch. I'm all for unity. You know, that's what I want to promote. But I also have to recognize and say this: I'm not with the drama. I'm not with the mess. I'm not with the self-sabotaging or other. I'm not with the self-fulfilling prophecies. I'm not on none of that. None of it. You know what I mean? I do not want to hold my tongue about things that I'm passionate about. And I don't want to feel like somebody is trying to play or trying to be over here wasting my time or trying to start stuff where they don't need to be starting stuff. Okay? Because I am not. I am not. So yeah, I just want to put that all out there and say that I'm excited to like be collaborating, or at least putting out that as what I want to do, and what I will reap from that. That's what I'm about right now. Just want to make sure I touched on all of my stuff that I put on this envelope, and then I ended up not even having any more room, and I was gonna write like on a whole other little piece of paper, but now I was like, I ain't doing too much good. Yeah. This is a good volume. I feel like this is me naturally. This is the volume that I would be speaking in, right? But then I'm by myself. I get really excited. When I get really excited, this is the volume that I'm at. And I wish I could always talk like that, you know. Oh, I wrote down, someone said this and I thought this was really good, that like, if I'm not talking about a thing, it's because I don't feel safe talking about the thing. I don't feel comfortable talking about the thing. Like, when I feel comfortable, when I feel like I can like take off my shoes and all that, like, I will tell you about some stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to do with this channel, is like, man, there's so many like conversations that I'll be having in my head that I'm just gonna go ahead and put out here. And thankfully I'm in the lane right now where, you know, ain't nobody really paying attention to me, which is good, because I get to just, you know, play and experiment and try things out. And like my mentor was saying, like, you got to play around with like the intonation, the tone of your voice. Like, you got to practice saying it like this, and then like that, and then like this, and then like, you know. And so I just want to have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have a good time. I want to continue to feel like I look, which is happy. Like, I want that for myself, and I'm gonna get that because that's what I want. That does not mean that I'm not struggling with things. That does not mean that I don't have moments, because I make sure to show that to some degree, also to show like the authentic, real 100% what it is, right? But in the moments like this where I feel good, it's Friday, I've done a couple of things, you know what I mean? I'm moving on, and I want to just share that and say that I feel good so that I can continue to feel good, right? So like begets like, right? Is that the expression? Like begets like, right? So whatever I am, that's what I'm going to get more of, right? Whatever I'm paying attention to, that's what I'm going to get more of. Whatever I'm talking about, that's what I'm going to get more of. Whatever energy I'm putting out, that's what I'm going to get more of. And yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go post this now and think about all that I've said. Go over there and think about what you've done. But like positive. But like spin it to be a positive thing. Oh man, I cracked myself up. Thank you for listening to me talk, and I will come back tomorrow, God willing, and have more interesting things to say. Okay, bye.